Okay, I guess are we live? Okay, I guess we are live. So hello and welcome all to the YouTube live at Fireblaze AI School channel. Okay, so I welcome you all to the Fireblaze AI School YouTube live. As you might have read the title, this YouTube live is about creating your first chatbot. Yes, that's right. So let's get started with it. Let's not waste our time in talking about it. Let's focus more on creating it. So before we create our first chatbot, let's talk about what a chatbot is. So basically, a chatbot is a software application designed to simulate human conversation. So, for example, if you would have seen some apps or websites wherein if you go there at the very right, you see a small icon on which if you click, you get some kind of assistant or like a virtual assistant that would help you uh, in knowing the website better. That is nothing but a chatbot. You type in questions, you chat with the chatbot, and it helps you, it guides you through the website or app, whichever thing you have put on. Okay, so again, the inputs and the outputs in the chat box or the chatbots uh, can be of two types. It can be text-based conversation, or the conversation can also be a voice-based conversation. Both the types of chatbots are available in the market nowadays. So it's mostly used in customer support, automation, and guiding you through the apps and these kinds of you know applications. So these chatbots, they can be of two types. The first is a rule-based chatbot, and the second is AI-based chatbot. So these rule-based chatbots are nothing but the chatbots that the software companies were using previously before the AI was in boom. There were some set predefined rules for these chatbots. Whenever we used to type something, these codes used to pick up some keywords from your text, and then based on those keywords, it used to uh, response respond you with some predefined messages. But now, since with the advent of AI, and within that, the NLP, which is called as natural language processing, these processing steps have become even more easier and even more, what you can say, streamlined. And whatever you write, it just does not pick up only the keyword, but uh, the complete language. It transforms your language into knowing what your intentions are and what you want to convey to that chatbot, and it acts accordingly. And so, yeah, that's how basically chatbots work. They take input from you, they process it based on the predefined rules or maybe the NLP, and then they give you output. There's also some part of machine learning in which these chatbots then learn according to the user, what the user wants, what the user intends to do. It learns and it stores the learned data, and then it uses that learned data further when you try to contact that chatbot later. That's how basically a chatbot works. Okay, so again, these chatbots, they can be created in various using various languages, out of which the most widely used language is Python language. So that's why you might have seen on my screen that I have open my Jupyter notebook. That's the reason, because we'll be creating this chatbot on in this Jupyter notebook, our first chatbot in this Jupyter notebook. So let's start with creating this chatbot. Give me a second. Okay. So let me start by creating a new file. Okay. We need to start my Anaconda prompt again. Okay, so okay, let me create a new file over here. So all of you guys who are watching this video, I would like to suggest you, if you want to do this chatbot with me, you can do that, but it's possible some of you might not be very fast in typing. It's okay. You can always see this video again. Once this live is over, it will be available on the Fireblaze AI School or YouTube channel. So you can always come back to the video, watch it again, and practice it again and again till you get expert in it. Okay. Okay. So let me tell you, these chatbots, how they work is they work on the basis of large language models, and not just large language models. They just work on the basis of language models. So these language models can be small, medium, large, and based on that, there are several libraries. There are several, modules, or several people who have created these language models. So we don't have to create our own language model thanks to all these companies who have worked for several years for creating these models. All we have to do is we have to import those models directly into our environment, which can be done through the API process which runs in the background. We don't have to work much on it. We just have to write a simple code that will, uh, import those libraries or import those models into our environment, and we can directly use them. So based on how much the work has been done or how bigger the language model is, the better would be the responses that you get from this chatbot. Okay, so let me start by the one of the uh, or one of the libraries that we use for creating chatbot, and that is called as transformers. So transformers is a library that is being developed by a community, or a open source community known as Hugging Face. So you might have heard about Hugging Face. It's an open community of this creators, and then they have created a library called as Transformers, from which we can import the chatbots, or not a chatbot, but the model that will help us, chat with the machine. Okay. So first of all, let's import the libraries, which is Transformers. From Transformers, we need these two models, auto, nice, auto, Horizon, and also we need to import Torch. Okay. So these two libraries, done. So causal, oh, that's right. That's not ML, that's LM, like for language model. Not so ML is machine learning and LM is language model. So we need to import the language model, not the machine learning. Okay. So just in case, because we get a lot of warnings when we try to do this chatbot thing, I'm importing a model called as warnings. So then I will warnings, got filter warnings. As I said that to ignore because there are so many warnings that it generates, and I don't want them to pop up every time I work on it. I just want them to I just wanted to ignore these pop-ups. Okay. So okay, so we have imported the libraries that we need for creating a chatbot. The second thing is what we'll do is we'll import the model. So the there are several models. I have created a list of all the models that are not all the models, but a lot of models that are available online that I'll share with you at the end of this of this live. And all of these models they are good at some or the other thing according to their programming or according to the use case that they were created. So some of them are created by OpenAI, some of them are created by Facebook, some of them are done by um, Microsoft. So the one that we'll be using right now is from the Microsoft. It is known as Dialog GPT. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll create our model first to auto model for causal LM. In that we'll okay. So again, so these chatbots can be of two types. First is we can train our model by ourselves. So what all the other companies they have done, they have trained this model by themselves, right? So that's one thing that we can do. We can train these models, or what we can do is we can use pre-trained model. So all the models that I was talking about by Meta, by Microsoft, and by the Google, uh, all of those are pre-trained models. They have been trained already by these companies. So what we'll do is we'll use these pre-trained model just to save our time, and not just save our time, save our efforts, because training these models takes, I think, months and years to train. So we don't want to do that, right? So we can use this unless we can do that unless we can do that if we have some specific use case for our app or something. But in this case, we don't have any specific use case code. What we can do is we can just get these pre-trained models online. So from pre-trained and into it, I would have to write my model name. So Microsoft Dial GPT. Okay. So based on that, because the larger the language model is, the larger it takes to load that into our environment. So what we'll do is we'll start with a small model. We'll start with a small model, uh, and then so the second thing we need is we need a tokenizer. So what this tokenizer is, consider this data that so since this all data is available online, the transactions of this data that happen online are the unit of one transaction is called as a token. So what a token is, it converts a set of data into a token, which in turn a token is the you can call it as a bus that carries this data to and from the server and the user. So basically, and this tokenizer, what it does is it converts our data into tokens. So that's why we need a tokenizer over here. And again, similar thing, the only thing is we need to write here tokenizer auto. When we run it, what will it? So I have successfully ran this. Okay. So now what we'll do is we have imported our model, and we have also imported and created our tokenizer and model. What we'll do is we'll use this pre-trained model. We'll create a chat, what you can say, the chat code that will be helping us in chatting with the machine. What we'll do is we'll start with this line. ID equals to one, two. The next thing that we'll do is so because we are creating a chatbot, what we'll do is the first thing that this chatbot will do is it will say us hello. So it will say hello to the user and it will instruct what the user needs to do. So what we'll do is we'll print the first chatbot statement. Print. Let's say chatbot, and chatbot says hello. My name is whatever name you would like to give to your chatbot. You can suggest that name over here. You can suggest maybe Sam or something, whatever. Hello, my name is Sam. How can I assist you? Assist. Okay, so that's what it will say. And in the bracket, it will say maybe a message if you want to exit, because what we'll be doing is we'll be creating a while loop. So we need to create something uh, which will exit us from the while loop, or else that will just keep on running forever. So we'll give a keyword such as exit or buy or something like that, which will help us exit the while loop. So what we'll do is we'll write type by exit. Okay. Type by to exit. That means okay. Type by to exit, right? That is correct, right? Okay. Now we'll input the chat loop. So while true. Now, as soon as the loop starts, the first thing that we'll do is we'll take a input from user. The first thing we'll do is we'll take a input from user. So while true, input from user. So let's say user input equals to input. You. That means us. This is a input that will take from us. Right now. So because we have said we have asked like the user or ourselves. So we have asked user if the user types buy, then it will exit. So what we'll do is we'll create the exit statement or exit condition for here. So if user input, now it's possible that the one who is typing might type BYE in proper case or in uppercase or in lowercase, any case. What we'll do is in generic terms, we'll just convert it, the user input into lower to check if it matches the lowercase by, not sorry, not by, but this by. And if it does, then this will break the loop. It will do is it will print will print the chatbot 4. We'll say chatbot. We'll say goodbye. We will say goodbye. Have a good day. Whatever you want to print. This is just a message that it will print if we type by. Okay. And then it will do it will break the loop. It will break the loop. Okay. It will break the loop. And then what we have to do is now we have to write a code for this chatbot. So let me write the code first and then I'll explain you. Okay, so these new input IDs, you can see that this tokenizer.encode, what it does is it takes the user input, whatever the user inputs, it takes it and it converts it into tokens. So this code that we have written on the screen is all about what the tokenizer that we have defined above in the cell second, which was again from the pre-trained model of from the Dialog GPT. What it does, it converts our input into small tokens, which then goes to the server where Dialog GPT is, and then what it does is it takes those tokens, it processes these tokens, and then gives us the output in terms of tokens, which then are received in this you can say notebook, and then that tokens are again converted into the user input format, the English language format, which we can read. So the next step, what we do is, okay, so let me write the code and then I'll explain. Okay, so so what this code, the piece of code that we have just written, what it does is using the torch library, what it does is it the bot input IDs that the IDs that we have just created using the tokenizer, these tokens, what they are created into the format that this what you can say the model Dialog GPT understands. So basically, this tokenizer, it converts the input into tokens, and then this torch.cat, it converts it into a format that the model understands, uh, which is in the server. So the Microsoft server where Dialog GPT is present. Okay, so uh, so what it does is, so now this at the very start, what we did was we created this chat history IDs. This is basically at the very first, it's none because we have not entered any message yet or we have not written anything yet. As soon as we write or as soon as we write something, the tokens that gets converted, the for that an output is generated by the server. So when it gets generated, that output gets stored in the chat history IDs. So for that, we would have to write the code in the same format, right? These equals to model of general. So this model, uh, we have created this model already in the second cell. So what this model.generate does is it generates an output. So it generates an output based on the input. So what is our input? The first input that we have is this bot uh, input IDs. This is the input that the model understands. Okay. Then there are a few, what you can say, there are a few parameters that we can enter, such as we can give max length. We can provide the max length to be maybe, so this is the length that you want your answer to be. You don't want your answer to exceed this number of characters in length. So for example, we'll write 50. Let's write 50 for the starters. And then what we can do is we can there's another argument that being passed is pad token ID, which we can equate to, or we can assign EOS underscore token ID. Tokenizer is token. So what this will do is this will generate a response. But again, the response that this has generated would be again in terms of tokens, because this is right now at the server level. It's at the Microsoft server level where the Dialog GPT model is. So now what this will do is it will create a response, but in token format. Now what we would have to do is again convert this token into a human readable language format. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll name it response. Okay, a response, and then now again tokenizer dot decode. What this will do is this will again decode the tokens back into the human readable form. So the input for this would be the chat history IDs. That will be the input, comma. Okay. So again, what this line does is it takes the output response that have been generated by the Dialog GPT's model, which is chat history IDs that we just created a line before this. What it does is it takes those outputs in forms of so the output that it gets is in form, it's in JSON one, is in dictionary form. So what it will do is it will not take all the outputs at once. We would have to select all the rows all the rows, but specific columns for the output. And then what the decoding does is it decodes those tokens back into the human readable format. So the response variable that we have created has the answer, or has the what you can say, the output that has been generated into the English format. So the last thing that we would need to do in this loop is we would have to create or we would have to print the output in a way that the chatbot is responding to it. So chatbot says response, but response, the variable response we need here. So what we'll write is response. Okay. So this is the basic most code that you are seeing on the screen for creating a basic chat. Okay, so let's see if it is working. Okay, so again, as this loop goes, hello, my name is Sam. How can I assist you? Type by to assist. So the first line has been correctly printed over here. Now it asks for our input. So again, if we type by over here, it will just close the chat. It will say goodbye. Have a good day. Okay. What we'll do is again, let's run it again. Okay. Again, let's write hello. So you can see as soon as I type hello to this chatbot, what it did is it replied me with hi. So you can see on the screen this thing, it's chatbot's reply. Okay. And again, so this is basically how a chatbot works. This you can introduce yourself, can ask how are you. Okay. So it has again replied me hi. So this is possible because maybe my language, so I did the grammatical mistake over here. And again, since this is a small, you can see this is a small model. This is a small model. That's why it's possible that this model has not been trained correctly, or has not been trained, what you can say, thoroughly. This is a small model. It doesn't have much data to learn from. Okay, we'll run this again, and this time I'll write hi. I am Kunal. Okay, so yeah, so he knows how to. So this chatbot knows how to respond. So he's responded, but again, so the chatbot doesn't have name. So that's why he is just copying my name. But he's not copying my exact answer. You can see my hi has been converted to hello. So yeah, so that's how it works. And hi has been converted into hello again. So I again asked him hi. So he responded again, hi Kunal. Right. So this is how a chatbot works, and this is how you create a chatbot. I hope you have understood this steps how to create a basic chatbot. Again, this is a very basic chatbot. You can explore more, or maybe in upcoming videos we'll try to create even more, what I can say, even more complex chatbots and more complex chatbots. But for now, this is how you create a chatbot. And again, so let me just say bye to this chatbot first. Okay. So while I was working, I created a whole new, what can say, a whole list of various models that we can use. So you can see over here. So that was just one model that we used today. That was Microsoft Dialog GPT. On your screen, you can see there are various models which you can use. Again, in also in Dialog GPT, the one we used was Dialog GPT small. You guys can use Dialog GPT medium, again Dialog GPT large. On your screen, you can see GPT-2, which is developed by OpenAI. So it has small, medium, large, and Excel data set, depending on the number of or the amount of data it has been trained onto. There's Eleuther AI, which has been so I've been trained on 1.3 billion data sets, or data sets, you can say, or words. Eleuther AI GPT Neo 2.7b has been generated on, or have been worked on 2.7 billion data. Then there's again 6b, which has been worked on 6 billion data sets, or 6 billion data sets, you can say. There's 20 billion data sets, and there's, yeah, this looks like the biggest model this Eleuther AI has. And the more the data, the more accuracy it has in chatting with you. So again, 20 billion is a huge data set. So I guess that you should try this one, Eleuther AI GPT, and it would be, I guess, it would be able to generate more accurate responses. Then there's Big Science, which has generated several, what you can say, data sets. And I can see 176 billion data sets model. So again, I would also suggest you to try this Big Science Bloom 176 billion model. I guess that would give you even more better responses than the others. Then there's Facebook that have generated this various data sets, or these various models for creating chatbots. Then there's Ross Lab, there's Google, this bird based uncased. So bird is basically one of the types of generating this text or responses. Then there's T5 and so on. Okay, so I hope you guys might have got a, slight better idea than before how to create a chatbot. And I hope you will practice this at your home or wherever you are. And thank you. If you have any questions regarding any of this, you can drop your comment or drop your questions in your comments, and I'll try to answer that. But for now, I'll call I'll call this meeting to be over, or this YouTube live to be over. And I hope you got something to learn new. And until next time, I will signing off. And I thank you all for joining this stream. And thank you.